And we are live. Captain Hook Chronicle, again in English. Yes, I know I have my strong accent, but I came prepared tonight.
To find me the greatest accent coach in the world.
Yep, because tonight it's a midnight run. It will be easy because I will be not alone, like you see. I have my guest. Almost once a year, he come to visit his French audience, us. This is Michael Montero from Montero Unboxing. Hello, Michael.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me back. I love the intro. That was great.
Yes, almost improvise.
Yeah.
It's not like I was thinking about that all day.
Exactly.
But Mike, I'm really happy to see you again in the show because this summer I wanted to speak with you because it's more a therapy session that I need. You know, this summer I have a weird feeling about boxing. I watch the boxing community. I watch the debate inside the boxing community, and seriously, I don't see the sport anymore in the debate. Yeah. The debate is more about, like this week, the debate is more about the power move that did Alemon or Canelo over each other. Where is the sport? I have that weird feeling that we don't speak about the sport anymore, and we maybe the only sport to act like this.
Yeah.
And I really I really believe that we are in crisis. This is a critical moment for the sport, and we don't realize it. What's your feeling about that?
I 100% agree with you. I think it's very, very frustrating because not only have there been issues with fights not coming together, fights not happening, but then there have been delays because of COVID and other things.
Postpone.
Right. Fights
Fury
postponed.
Wilder.
And then last year we had the lockdowns, you know, so it's 2 years in a row where there's so many frustrations as a boxing fan. And you're correct. We're talking about Power Play, Al Heyman, Canelo Alvarez. We're talking about DAZN, Fox, pay-per-view, not pay-per-view. We're talking about negotiations, postponements, mythical matchups, mythical fights, but not real fights.
No.
And it's a shame because this year there have been some good fights. Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, that was a great fight. But Jamal Charlo, Brian Castano, great fight.
Exactly.
But not enough.
But not enough, yes.
Yeah.
It's really if the year continue like this, it's really poor. It's really, really, really poor. And first question, maybe to readjust the balance, maybe to see maybe some light at the end of the tunnel. What else for boxing in 2021? Because the schedule is so poor. Yeah. What do you think?
My hope is that the fourth quarter of the year, October, November, December, we get the matchups. We see Fury and Wilder 3. We see Teofimo Lopez fight again. We know Vasily Lomachenko is going to fight in December. We see Canelo. We don't know who's going to fight, but hopefully he fights in September. So that the last 3-4 months of the year, we get the stars back. Gennady Golovkin, supposed to fight December 31st in Japan. That's a good fight between him and Murata. That's a good fight. Anthony Joshua, of course, is fighting Alexander Usyk. That's a great fight. So as long as the stars get in the ring, remember we have Spence and Pacquiao coming up too.
Yeah.
I hope that these fights deliver. I hope that the fighters get in the ring. No more postponements. And we have actual fights to talk about. And we can build that momentum into 2022. Because perhaps next year we can get heavyweight unification. We can get the winner between Joshua and Usyk, Fury Wilder 3 to fight next year. And then we could get maybe the winner between Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence, maybe fights Terrence Crawford, finally we could get some of these matchups. That's what I hope we see.
Yeah, but you know, to have a good 2022, when you say they have to deliver, they have no choice. They have to deliver, because, you know, even myself, you know, sometimes I'm wondering, what can I do? You know, I hit the 40s, and, you know, I still a boxing junkie for that people. Sometimes when I look at the mirror, I think maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong to keep my passion about boxing, because and it's really the first year, because even last year with the COVID, with the lockdown, I didn't feel that way. Last year, you know, I was more in peace. I was more, you know, I have more patience about the boxing community, you know, because the COVID. So I was more, you know,
You're more understanding.
Exactly.
Because there was an excuse. Yeah.
But this year, for me, it's everybody going down, you know, going down on my appreciation. And the worst, and when you compare with the MMA community, because it's fight after fight after fight, at least they spoke about the sport all the time. And for us, I was watching a channel that, you know, was saying that Canelo is a disgrace because the deal with Plant wasn't done. Okay, so for me, we reached the point. We reached the point that, you know, I give up on few people, but the summer is, in my opinion, is poor, is weak. But at least we have one night that can maybe change everything, and that night it's Pacquiao Spence. So if the best way to sell the fight, in my opinion, is to be on the Pacquiao narrative. If Pacquiao do it, if Pacquiao win, it's crazy.
Right.
You know, it's completely crazy. I think it's not the
likely.
way, not likely, but if we do it, we reach a point of craziness that I want to see it, you know. And I believe maybe boxing can break again the internet if Manny win.
Of course.
Yeah. But how do you feel about this fight? For example, do you want to travel to Vegas to see it?
I can't travel to Vegas because I'm in training right now. I'm going to be fighting a couple times over the next month. I have some fights at the end of this month and some fights in September. So I know I will be watching the fights, but I'm training. I'm eating good. No beer, no wine. Yeah, I'm being good right now.
It's tough.
I know, very tough. Yeah, especially when I watch the fight, you want to have some beer. But I agree with you. If Manny Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, he has not fought in 2 years, right? I think 2 years. And the last time he fought, he beat Keith Thurman. That was a great win for him. But that fight seemed like winnable for Manny. A lot of people predicted Manny would win. Most people predicted Thurman, but a lot of people thought Manny had a good chance. In this fight, 90% of people think Spence is going to win. So if Pacquiao wins this fight, it changes the discussion about where he ranks with the all-time greats. He's already an all-time great, Pacquiao already. But if he wins this fight, he might be in the top 10. He might be up there, the top 10 all-time greats. And he probably, here's the crazy part, he probably goes above Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I don't think there's any argument. If he beats Errol Spence, and Floyd Mayweather beat him, but it doesn't matter because of his overall resume. He goes above Floyd if he wins against Spence.
Exactly. I can wait. Exactly. And in the perspective of Errol Spence, who win the fight, how you will feel about that? It will be a great win or just a typical or ordinary win for him? What do you think?
It depends how he wins.
Yes, of course.
No controversy, right? Hopefully no bad judges, no bad referee. If Errol Spence wins, that is the way the script is supposed to go. It's supposed to be the passing of the torch from the old generation to the new generation. So this is like when Anthony Joshua fought Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah.
Joshua was supposed to win that fight. Klitschko dropped him, hurt him, almost won, but the young man rose to the occasion and won. That's what we want to see with Errol Spence. If he faces a moment like that against Pacquiao, because Spence has never been in trouble in a fight, never. No opponent's ever bothered him that badly. But if Pacquiao does, and we see Spence have to dig down and learn on the job, and then he beats Pacquiao, that torch gets passed. And now Errol Spence, I think, could really be a star.
Yeah. Yes, of course. And about the announcement last May, were you surprised about the announcement? Because just the day and the week before, we were more focused maybe on the Crawford fight, and we almost forgot about Spence. And like this, it took us by surprise. It was the same for you, a big surprise.
Yeah, it was nobody knew this was coming. Nobody in the media. This was there have been a few fights that have happened in recent years where the media didn't know. Nothing got leaked. There was no sources. It was a complete surprise, and this was one of them. This fight kind of came out of nowhere. I know they explored it before because PBC signed Pacquiao to build the brand of Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, their welterweights. They wanted to build the name, but we didn't know it was going to happen this year. So I think it's a great fight. It's easy to market in Las Vegas. Manny Pacquiao in Vegas always brings a huge crowd. Errol Spence has been on pay-per-view a couple times now, so he's built his brand up. I think the timing of this is really perfect.
Yeah. So at least this summer we have one date.
Yes.
One date, but Manny Pacquiao, Spence bring back the interest about the sport, but another weight division for me was completely falling apart and almost disrespect the fans is the heavyweight. And when all the drama, Wilder and Fury, and I'm sick of it, I'm so tired about this. I'm so tired about the Wilder Fury drama that I start to really appreciate Joshua.
Yes.
For who he is,
Yes.
And I'm surprised about that because I wasn't on the Joshua train since the beginning, but with that, I reevaluate everything in the division, and for me, Joshua appeared to be at least the most serious in front of the audience and the boxing community. AJ Usyk, how do you see this fight?
I think it's a very interesting fight. I think it's a fantastic matchup. And people have to remember, Usyk had all 4 of the belts at cruiserweight. AJ has 3 of the 4 belts at heavyweight. So between these two fighters, that's 7 belts. And then if you include the Ring Magazine belt that Usyk has, that's 8 belts. So altogether, there's all the titles these men have had. And they haven't had many fights between them. Right? I think Usyk has had maybe about 20 fights. Joshua, maybe 25. I don't remember the exact number.
No.
But they don't have many fights. So all the title fights, also 2 gold medalists in the Olympics, right? So there's so much hardware, so many trophies involved in this fight. I love it. Here's the thing. Size matters. And Anthony Joshua is a much, much larger man. Naturally. He fights normally 240 to 250 pounds, and Usyk is a natural 200-pound fighter. That is a 20 to 25% increase in body mass that Usyk is going up against. So that is just a significant increase in natural strength and size that he will face. And I think Anthony Joshua's boxing ability is underrated by some fans. I think if you really look at some of Joshua's fights, he has shown at times that, yes, he can fight long behind the jab, set up the right hand, but he also has a nice uppercut. He can fight backing up. He has shown some inside fighting skills in a couple different fights. I thought in his fights with Parker and Takam, he showed some good skills backing up. The rematch with Joshua, I'm sorry, with Ruiz. And against Vladimir Klitschko, that massive uppercut that changed the fight. And, you know, so he has different tools that he's going to be able to use against Usyk. Now, pound for pound, Usyk is the better boxer, probably the more athletic fighter, quicker on his feet, faster with his hands, but size matters. So I have to favor Anthony Joshua. If Usyk can pull this off, he might be the best pound for pound fighter in the world. When you look at the natural size difference, no other fighter is facing a disadvantage like this in all of boxing right now.
And you know what? It's an idea that I have about that matchup. I really believe that it will be an extreme challenge for Usyk, because I believe that this is the worst matchup for Usyk, because Usyk Wilder or Usyk Fury, in my opinion, was more clear about the boxing strategy on both sides. But like you say, AJ is pretty good all around.
Right.
You know, he's pretty good all around. So, in my opinion, it will be a complicated night for Usyk. This is in terms of sport again, and the quality of the matchup. This is a good night also for the boxing fan, and in my opinion, a better matchup in terms of quality than Wilder Fury by far.
I completely agree. Yeah, and you know, if you look at it, I think this is a September 25. This fight is happening.
Yeah.
By that point, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder will be inactive for a year and a half.
Exactly.
No fight in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I see it, September 25, the winner of that fight is the best heavyweight in the world. They might not be considered the lineal champion, but they will be the best heavyweight in the world on that night, because they will be active. And it's 2 top 10, maybe 2 top 5 heavyweights fighting each other at their best. So I can't wait for that fight. If Usyk can take Joshua's power, that's an interesting fight, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if he can take the power and the fight go longer, we know that AJ sometimes
gets tired. All that muscle, it's all the muscle. It's too muscular, you know. It makes you tired. So if Usyk can move around him, dance side to side, touch him and then spin, touch him, spin, and keep that up, round 10, round 11, the fight gets very interesting. But let me ask you this, Captain Hook.
Yeah.
Can Usyk get a decision in the UK against Anthony Joshua?
Really, really good question. I don't believe it. And also, I don't believe in the fact that Usyk can knock out for good Joshua. I don't believe on the Usyk power in the heavyweight. So he has to do a performance like Lomachenko. You know, he has to look like Lomachenko on a great night on the September 25, because if it doesn't look good, the decision will be for sure for AJ with no argument. But yes, this is a good question, because that say a lot about AJ that don't take a risk anymore to fight in New York City against a good opponent.
Yeah, yeah. He did one time, and it did not
Did
work
one
out
time,
very well for him.
and he
so,
learned the lesson. So yeah,
yes,
yeah.
bad memories.
But in term, if you are a heavyweight fan, this is the night to follow. And by the way, do you believe that we will see the Wilder Fury fight in October? Because with all the drama, I'm not sure anymore. I wait to see it when the two guys are in the ring,
Yes,
and
you hear the bell.
okay,
Yes,
I will believe it. But until that, no way.
yeah, I'm with you. They have to do it. It's in the contract.
Yeah.
There's guaranteed money for both guys. They're both going to make tens of millions of dollars guaranteed. My question is, Tyson Fury has COVID, right? Is he going to make a full recovery and be able to fight in October? Because some athletes recover from COVID like that. But some athletes, it takes them 3 to 4 months to get their lung capacity back, their breathing capacity back. So, and Fury is a fighter that relies on movement. So will he be ready and 100% by October? That's my question. I don't know.
Yeah. But, I wish he recover. I wish he do the fight, because if not, all the conspiracy theory
Yeah.
will be, it will be a wave of conspiracy theory, and I don't want to
I can't
face
take
that.
it anymore. It's
No.
too much. I want this chapter. I want to turn the page
Exactly.
to the new chapter. Yes. There we go. I want to turn the page to a new chapter. I'm finished. I'm done with this. So I hope they fight in October and we move on.
We move on. Exactly.
Yeah.
We wait so much time in the heavyweight division because of all this drama that enough is enough, and I hope they understand, and it's intelligent and people around them, Bob Arum or Alemon. If they don't do it, the backlash and the bad press inside the boxing community will be so huge. I don't think you can recover from it.
It already put the entire boxing industry on hold.
Yeah.
It didn't just hold up the heavyweight division. It held up the entire sport.
You're right.
Because the heavyweight division dictates the way everything follows in the sport. So that fight, the arbitration hearing and all that went back and forth between Top Rank and PBC. And then, of course, Matchroom was trying to do the fight between Fury and Joshua. That whole thing held up the whole sport. So already we had COVID in 2020, and then we had this drama in 2021. We just need to get this behind us and move on.
Yeah. Exactly. It was good that you showed a new issue of Ring Magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's there he is right there. Manny Pacquiao on the cover.
Did you write an article for this issue?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But not about this fight. It was about the Casimero-Rigondeaux fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was drama also with
yes.
Nonito Donner. We had a lot of drama also for the small category, for the small division.
Yes.
Yeah. About Ring Magazine, because we know, we follow you on the social network, on YouTube. We every Monday we check your great show, the Neutral Corner, on YouTube. A good week start with the TNC.
Thank you, sir.
But one of my last question is about the Ring Magazine influence in the business, and about the pound for pound list, because we are so we are so focused about that specific list, but in a, sometimes the list is good to have a debate. It's good to speak about the skills, the boxing skills of a fighter on if you compare with another fighter. But don't you feel that we reach a limit about the pound for pound list all the time? Because at every issue of Ring Magazine, you have a backlash. You have people say, "Oh, Charlot is not on the list," or "This one is not on the list." But it doesn't mean that they didn't bring a great fight. Charlot is not on the list, but I enjoy so much his last fight. It's a fight to show in every school of boxing, and in fact, it's more important to bring a great fight than to be on the list. For me, the list, in my personal balance, the list is not that important, but it's really important for the rest of the community. How do you feel about that? Do you, because you contribute to the list, you're not the only one, you're like a college of writer, but in a way, I have the feeling that you do the list all the time and you're scared about doing the list every month.
Well,
am I wrong?
The list is tradition. The list goes back many, many years. Ring Magazine goes back 100 years. So a lot of it is just tradition. And there are some people that don't care about the list at all. There are some people, it's all they care about. What I've learned is it doesn't matter what we do. People are going to be mad. It doesn't matter who we rate, how we rate them. Somebody's going to be mad. So part of the job for me is understanding that I'm going to get hate mail no matter what I say. Because if there's two fighters fighting and I talk about one fighter good, then this other fighter's fans are going to hate me, or the other way. There's no matter what I do, there will be criticism. So with the pound for pound list, the main thing.
Can you give us an idea of how many hate mail you can receive after a pound for pound list?
Well, if you count Twitter, YouTube, emails, Instagram, if you in Facebook, some weeks it's hundreds. Yeah. If you count all that, so it could be hundreds, and some days it is heavy, and I need to just unplug, and I turn off my phone and go hit the heavy bag, because some days it does get to you.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I just kind of laugh at it and understand that, I'm glad you brought up this question, because Doug Fisher, the editor of Ring Magazine, who's a wonderful guy, friend, mentor, and does a fantastic job. He's one of the best in the business. He made a point this week that some people were upset that we don't rate Gervonta Davis on our pound for pound list, which I think is ridiculous. He's not a pound for pound top 10 fighter yet, but some people think he is. And there are people complaining that Ring Magazine doesn't rate him. Well, guess what? Neither does ESPN. Neither does the transitional ratings board. I can't remember the exact name, but the TRBR, I think it is, the transitional boxing ratings panel, something like, they have a top 10.
Okay.
Gervonta Davis isn't there. USA Today, several other platforms. No one rates Gervonta Davis top 10 pound for pound.
But because you are Ring Magazine.
They're only mad at Ring. Why? Because they respect us the most.
Exactly.
That's why we get the most criticism. That's why we get the most hate mail. So I have to remind myself, when I get a mean tweet or a mean Facebook comment or something like that, that means I'm doing a good job. Yeah. That means that I'm doing something right and they respect me. That's why they're saying nasty things. So that's the thing you have to remind yourself when you're having a stressful day.
Yeah. Uh, uh, good. Good. You can tell us that. Last question, Mike, because I know you have to go. Forget about the matchup we know for the rest of the year: AJ, Usyk, Pacquiao, etc., etc. As a fan, as a boxing fan, which matchup you really dream about for the rest of the year?
It would be amazing if we could get the Pacquiao Spence winner to fight Terrence Crawford on Christmas Day.
So you believe in Santa?
I believe Santa Claus on Christmas Day brings us this fight. Pacquiao beats Spence, and we get Terrence Crawford versus Manny Pacquiao Christmas Day on Fox. No pay-per-view. No pay-per-view anywhere in the world. Regular TV, so everyone could watch.
Okay.
That's my dream.
Yeah. But for everybody, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But that's only going to be a dream. That's never going to happen. But
that's a good dream, you know.
But that would be a good dream, right?
Yeah. And without alcohol, without beer, without a glass of wine.
Well, then I will have a beer because my fights will be all done. So I could have a beer. I could have a cannoli. I can have some pasta. Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great. So tell me more, Mike. Tomorrow, it's a new TNC, The Neutral Corner, on the Ring magazine channel on YouTube. It's called Ring TV.
It's our website is ringtv.com.
Okay.
But the Ring's YouTube channel is called The Ring Digital.
Ring Digital. Yeah. Ring Digital. Okay. Ring Digital for your next show tomorrow. What will be the main issue tomorrow?
I think, well, you know what? We had two big upsets this weekend. We had two big upsets. So I think that's what we're going to be talking about. Is it really
a big upset? You talk about Kofi against Jonathan Rice?
Yeah, that's one of them. And then
Wood it's a big upset?
I thought, well, that was an upset. If you look at the betting odds, Kofi was a big betting favorite, and Shu Khan was supposed to beat Leigh Wood. He was a betting favorite as well. So it wasn't just the results of those fights, it's how we got there, because Wood dominated Khan, stopped him, and then Rice dominated Kofi, stopped him. Now, Kofi is just a prospect, but still, he was heavily favored. The Vegas odds makers heavily favored him. So I think that's two big stories. I mean, this weekend was a light schedule. None of these fights were big fights, but we had two of the biggest upsets of the year. And then also in the Olympics, we have three Americans have at least guaranteed a bronze medal, which I don't really care about the bronze medal in the Olympics, but maybe a fourth will. I think who's fighting?
At least they break the cycle. At least they break the cycle. You know?
Davis has another fight. If he wins, that might be four that get to the semifinals. That hasn't happened in a long time. So there's a possibility that a couple of American boxers might get a silver or a gold. And especially the men's boxers, that's a big deal. So we'll talk about all that.
You know, on the reverse side, for the Frenchie, you know, because one of the Americans won against a French prospect, you know. So for us, it's not a mistake, you know. It's a drama. It's you know, it's scandalous. You know, it's over with the Olympics. It's full of shit. You know, it's the opposite. You know, when your national team is good on the Olympics. Oh, the Olympics! Oh, that's great.
Of course.
You know? But when everything goes wrong for your national team, the Olympics, it's bullshit. You know. Yeah, and I just did a video, and I did that. You know, I just said that.
No, that's normal. That's human nature. I don't watch the Olympics too much just because the International Olympic Committee is so corrupt.
Yeah.
It is the most corrupt sporting organization on earth, and it by far. So it's hard for me to support the Olympics when you learn about some of the things the IOC has done. And it's just, I don't want to get political, but they are really, really corrupt. So I watch the Olympics a little bit, but I try not to pay too much attention to it. But I'm happy for Team USA. You know, for boxing, we're doing pretty well. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah. Last question, because you bring the Olympics, but for you, and you know the US market, you know the US boxing community. If one of the guy bring not just the bronze, but the gold, that change everything for him?
I don't know if it means he's going to be a superstar, but I think, well, so Richard Torres, I think if he were to do it, I think that would be big because he's a heavyweight, because of his heritage. Demographically, I think that would be a very, very big deal. But if any of them get a gold medal, that's huge. It's huge for American boxing. But does that mean they're going to be a superstar like Sugar Ray Leonard when he won a gold medal? No, those days are over. It's just a different thing now. Yeah.
I agree. The magnitude of the Olympics during the 70s and the 80s, it was something else. It was something else.
Completely agree.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
I recall everybody tomorrow, Monday, you start your week with the Montero Unboxing, the Neutral Corner, because we can find also on your YouTube channel, Montero Unboxing. It's easy to find, and you can find the podcast. And I enjoy every week. I enjoy. Thank you for your work, Mike, because you put a lot on the table. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So, Mike, see you next year for another show.
Hopefully before then.
Okay, it was a pleasure, Mike. Once again, have a good week and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay.